Overhead garage door service. Call 256-400-4500.
Want even more excitement on game day? It's time to get on Prize Picks, the best way to win big on fantasy sports. Here's how it works. Just pick 2 to 6 players and choose more or less on their stats. If you get them right, you could win up to 25 times your cash. It's quick and easy to make your picks, and with fast and safe deposits and withdrawals, Prize Picks is the place to play this season. Prize Picks has awesome weekly promotions, and they're the only daily fantasy platform with an injury insurance policy, keeping you in the game even if one of your players goes down. Sweat it out, watch your entry update in real time, and continue the fun by making picks on second half and fourth quarter stats. Take your game day experience to the next level with Prize Picks. And right now, you go to prizepicks.com/primetime and use code primetime. Prize Picks is matching your first deposit up to $100. That's prizepicks.com/primetime with code primetime for a 100% deposit match. Prize Picks, daily fantasy sports made easy. Must be present in certain states. Visit prizepicks.com for more details.
You'll love the expanded wine selection at Liquor Express. From special occasion to everyday table wines, they've got what you need. Meet your friends at the largest tap wall in Alabama with 105 rotating selections. Then take home a growler full of your favorite or choose from our 1,000 canned or bottled beers. Need help stocking your bar or planning your party? Liquor Express has a knowledgeable, professional in-house staff that can assist you with anything from your bar to the planning of your special event. Visit liquorexpress.net for tasting specials, giveaways, and classes.
From the Fox 54 Weather Center, I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman. A mostly sunny sky this afternoon. Temperatures climbing into the mid and upper 60s. Some of us could actually see the lower 70s. Overall, a really fantastic day across the Tennessee Valley. We drop into the mid and upper 40s as we head into the overnight, early into your Wednesday morning. Plenty of sunshine on Wednesday afternoon. Temperatures a little more seasonal for this time of year. Highs climbing into the mid 70s. Dropping into the upper 40s, lower 50s as we head into the overnight, early Thursday morning. I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman on your home for ESPN Radio, 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
New coordinators.
That's as good as money, sir.
New quarterback.
It's my quarterback.
Same coach.
All right, and you all may be taking the week off, all right, this week, but I'm not.
We are your home of the Alabama Crimson Tide. 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
Can you get me a little typeset?
Now, funny how? I mean, funny like I'm a clown, I amuse you?
You're tired.
Well, the lunchtime whistle and the morning's finally done. I'm jumping in my car, I'm gonna have a little fun. The Doghouse Network's on my radio dial. Big Dog's taking care of business for a while. If you're listening to another station I don't understand, 'cause nobody does it like Thom Abraham.
Give us a call, Steve.
He's a northern-bred, southern-fed, slick-talking guy. Listeners in his posse are the Junkyard Dogs. The SEC from Tennessee to calling them hogs. From Gainesville up to Lexington to the Titan Tiger Land, nobody does it like Thom Abraham.
I guess I'm on here. Am I on? Can somebody respond?
Hey, good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to a Top 10 Tuesday in the Doghouse. I am your host, Thom Abraham, and, we already have Virginia and Florida on hold. I mean, I haven't even dropped the phone number yet. And Virginia and Florida are on hold. This is what happens when you've been on in so many markets. People just listen. They say, what do you need this streaming stuff for? What do you need to be able to have people listen online? Virginia and Florida are on hold already for the show. So what do you think? Huntsville, you want to jump on and get in? You could do it. You could do it right now, okay? We got a lot of fun for you today coming up on the show. We got a fun top 10 for you today coming off the Cowboys win in San Diego last night in front of a huge Cowboys crowd. This whole Chargers thing to L.A. is such a disaster. Again last night, the Chargers had to go to a silent count at home. I mean, it's just sad to see a team have to play 17 road games. It's like a Vandy home game every time there, where everybody is there for your opponent. In any event, did you see that ridiculous roughing the passer call against the Chargers when the guy literally bumped into Dak Prescott, who went down like he was shot from the crowd? It was another night of goofy calls, but again, in my mind, we are not talking about a game being rigged but rather just simple incompetence. And with the quality of TV coverage that we have today, the super slow-mo, the crystal clear HD, the 18 cameras with angles from it's more obvious than ever. These guys are more exposed than ever in how incompetent they are. But I know that there is a fraction out there, a fraction of a faction. I know that there is a faction out there that put on their tinfoil hats and get on the grassy knoll at Area 51 or, So what I have in front of me today for our list is a list of conspiracy theories in response to an ex-post by a professional sports bettor who's been a professional sports bettor for 30 years. And he's like, I've never seen these kind of calls being made. Well, yeah, we never saw these kind of calls because we never saw these kind of calls because you didn't see what was going on the way you can see it now. Let's watch in super slow motion as the guy stumbles into the quarterback and calls roughing the passer. But anyway, I'll get into it. Don't let me miss this. Chad, don't let me forget that list. It's a fun list. Listen to the nut jobs out there. It's a hilarious list when you listen to the nut jobs out there. Pat McAfee's got an Alabama jersey. Did you see that hanging up behind him? Nick Saban must have given him an Alabama jersey signed by whoever. The Pat McAfee show on here in studio. All right, coming up in a few minutes, Justin Ferguson of the Auburn Observer is back as Auburn gets ready to host Ole Miss in the most critical part of their season. Now, we knew winning in Baton Rouge was going to be difficult. To be honest, at 3-3, Auburn is right where we thought they'd be. They won the 3 non-conference games, and they lost at A&M, they lost to Georgia, and they lost at LSU. So we asked then, can they split the Mississippi schools over the next couple of weeks? They got Ole Miss this week, and then they got State both coming in. Can they win at Arkansas, at a 2-5 Arkansas team that is better than their record? And how many quarterbacks are they going to play this week? So we'll get into that with Justin Ferguson. And then at the top of the one, Connor O'Gara from Saturday Down South checks in with his mid-season report. The phone lines are open at 256-576-4790, 4977. He said 256-576-4977. Makes sense, 97.7, right? You can text the show, 732-9TA-SHOW, 732-982-7469. I don't know how I don't give that 800 number anymore that we used to have. I don't know how I don't give it anymore. I mean, so many phone numbers that I've given out over the 25-year career, I can't remember them. I'm liable to just drop the 800 number in there at some particular point in time. 256-576-4977 get you into this show. My personal X feed is at Thom Abraham Show. The stations is at 97.7 ESPN. That makes sense. The Facebook page is at 97.7 ESPN. There you go. You get a link to WZZN TV. You can like and subscribe on YouTube and get notifications. Go to 97.7ESPN.com. Get links to all of that stuff. And while you're at it, get our app. Just search your app store for 97.7 ESPN The Zone. And then you can get links to Zone 2 and 3 and 4 and 5. All our alternate streaming channels for more great programming. It's going to be a great Friday night this week. 5 more big games on the network. Buckhorn, now 4-3, 3-1 in the region. Locked up a playoff spot. Have a shot at the number 2 seed if they can beat Fort Payne at Fort Payne. That one is on the air in the primary feed with John Boy Dewey Magoo and I. Madison Academy has Brindley Mountain in the house on Zone 2 with Steve and Glenn Laird. On 3, Randolph has New Hope with Bailey Lowry and Drew DeArmond. And on 4, Huntsville High visits Sparkman, who has dropped 2 in a row at the Madison City Stadium. The Abraham boys, Joe and John, are on that one. And on 5, we'll have the game of the week, Lee and Gadsden City from Joe Davis Stadium. The Huntsville Championship is no more. The Korn Ferry Tour has dropped the event from its schedule, regardless of what seemed like a successful 3-year run and one of the coolest trophies out there. And, man, did I enjoy going up to the ledges and broadcasting from the Huntsville Championship. That was one of the neatest things that we had in the market. I've been trying to get more information on what may have happened there because I'm not sure if there's much to it. I mean, it's really sad. I thought it was a great thing for our area. I hate that we're losing the Huntsville Championship. the Korn Ferry Golf Tournament. That's the AAA of the PGA Tour, run by the PGA Tour, if you don't know what that is. And this one didn't take long. Check out this from The Athletic. Quote, did the Panthers choose wrong? Carolina is now 0-6 after a 42-21 loss to the 5-1 Miami Dolphins, who are also in the best team conversation and look listless with number 1 overall pick Bryce Young at quarterback. The Panthers insist Young is still their guy, but it's a little too easy to see number 2 overall pick C.J. Stroud flourishing for the 3-3 Texans and wonder. Close quote. I mean, my goodness gracious. It was 6 games. 6 games. We're calling that into question already? I think it may be a bit early to make that decision. Personally, I was always skeptical about Young's game transferring to the NFL. I said it over and over again. Talked about his size and how slight he is and whether or not, all the things that he did miraculously on the field in a college game, you're not going to be able to do that in the NFL game. But I'm not making a decision on the kid yet. I'm not going to do that. Are you kidding me? Stroud is shocking me, though. I mean, there's no doubt about it. What Stroud is doing has been amazing. I always had confidence in Jalen Hurts because of his makeup. All right? From the day I first saw Jalen Hurts, I always had confidence in Jalen Hurts, son of a coach, in his makeup. I thought Jalen Hurts is, you know what? This kid's going to be a thing. I always thought that Tua Tagovailoa, as long as Tua could stay healthy and on the field, I always had confidence that Tua would be a stud in the NFL. Nobody throws the slant better than him. And the deep out. I mean, Tua is just, and if he can stay on the field and if he can keep his brain from getting scrambled, I think he's the leader for MVP right now. Like he was last year. Mac Jones, I always felt, was a toss-up. And that's what it looks like now. He had a great rookie season. He's got garbage around him. It looks like it's a toss-up right now for Mac Jones. Just don't know. But when we're getting all excited about C.J. Stroud and we're thinking about what's going on with Bryce Young, let me just remind people. Rick Myra. Can I say Rick Myra? Look him up if you don't know who he is, quarterback out of Notre Dame. Went to the Seattle Seahawks. He was the Rookie of the Year. 2 years later, Witness Protection Program. Vince Young. You remember Vince Young, Heisman Trophy winning quarterback out of Texas, drafted by the Tennessee Titans. Against the will of Jeff Fisher, who had to have Matt Leinart from his alma mater, USC. Well, Leinart never did anything. Vince Young was the Rookie of the Year. Rookie of the Year. He won that on a couple of broken plays. One was against the Giants when the guy thought Umanure or whatever his name is, thought he had tackled him or thought that the whistle had blown. And Young got out of his grip and went down the sideline, scored a touchdown. The other one was, I think, in overtime against the Houston Texans in Houston, where he had that scramble and ran 50 yards for a touchdown. Rookie of the Year. Yeah, not so much. Not so much. All right, so you want to end on that conversation, you can get on it. Over there in that little glass booth with the slanted ceiling, playing the Platters of Matter and the Stacks of Wax with his really cool orange and brown Grissom Tiger jersey behind him. Still one and the only DJ Grizzy Grizz.
Who in the blue hell are you? What is your name? It doesn't matter what your name is.
I'm the producer of this show. If I didn't step up, you're nowhere. I put this thing together out of spit and polish.
I mean, this is ridiculous. It's a radio show. It ain't a one-hour television spectacular.
I think this is one of the traits of a really good producer. Keep the talent happy.
I'm all jacked up on Mountain Dew. Now, Tom. Hey, Tom.
He may be the smartest person that I've ever met.
Testosterone high today.
What's that?
Testosterone, whatever the it is. Testosterone.
I wake up in the morning, I piss excellence.
It really doesn't matter what you think. It really doesn't matter what you say.
Hey, Grizz, how you doing over there?
I'm doing all right. I'm doing just fine on a Tuesday. Yeah.
I'm choking a little bit here on my.
I was kind of gonna have to pull down the slide there for a second because I had you up.
My chicken fillet nuggets.
To go give you the Heimlich on stream.
Yeah, I think you need to go get somebody else to help you Heimlich me. I think you need to have like one person and another person, and then.
If not, I'll just punch you in the jejunum, and then you'll be okay.
Go get. Go find Wes.
Right out.
Wes could Heimlich me. Wes could break me in half.
Bear hug you and snap you in half.
Snap me in half. I'm not sure if you could do it.
Shake your hand and break your hand.
You watch that game last night?
Yes.
I never changed the channel. You know, I completely. This is.
I did have baseball in the background.
You know what? I completely. What do you mean by in the background? You got multiple TVs going?
Yeah.
See, I don't. I just had the one TV going. I was recording the game. I watched the When Calls the Heart with my wife. That's her show. And so we watched. We had like 2 or 3 episodes recorded. So I watched the When Calls the Heart with her, starting at like 6:30, 6:45, and then she was gonzo by 8:45, 9. She was ready to check out. So I then watched the football game, and I love watching them recorded because it just goes so fast. It's great, and you realize how much dead time there is. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm a seamhead, man. I keep saying it. I completely forgot that they were even playing baseball last night. And the NLCS and the ALCS, and I guarantee you got crushed by the Chargers and the Cowboys.
Yeah, I didn't.
Crushed.
I didn't even watch the Filthies at all. I came home.
That's the only team I'm pulling for, too.
Yeah.
I mean, I hate to say it for you.
Yeah.
And I like the Braves in the National League, but I got to be honest with you.
Look.
If there is a team, I have always, since he was playing high school baseball in Las Vegas, I've followed Bryce Harper's career.
Yeah.
I've always liked Bryce Harper. Now, part of the reason is because Bryce Harper was born and raised a huge Yankee fan.
Yeah.
And the reason he wore 34 at first in his career was because his father was a huge Mickey Mantle fan, and Bryce Harper would always wear a number that added up to 7 if he couldn't get 7. And so he wore 34 with the Nationals. I think he wears 3 now, Babe Ruth's number. Anyway, I like Bryce Harper. I like the Phillies. I have friends that played on the Phillies, so I kind of, Greg Luzinski's a great friend of mine, and people don't even know who he is probably unless you know the '80s Phillies. But in any event, I'm if there's a city, if there's a team I'm pulling for. I hate Houston. I hate the Rangers.
Yeah.
I hate the Diamondbacks. That leaves the Phillies.
Yeah.
I didn't even know it was happening last night. That's how bad it is.
My love for the show It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia has slowly given me a little bit of love for the Phillies and the Eagles a little bit. But no, I can't. I have to come to the realization as a Braves fan that the Phillies are, if not possibly going to win this World Series, because I really don't see whoever comes out of the AL having a chance. And then
I don't know. The Rangers are awfully hot.
They're
awfully hot.
They're really
they
hot.
went down to Houston
They're
and
like
they won
the Phillies
2
last
games.
year. They're kind of like the Phillies last year. They're hot, and then they're going to run into the best team, who the Astros were last year. This is going to be the Phillies, I feel like, this year.
It's good for
the
Braves, I think, if the Phillies win it all.
Oh, yes.
Because I think then you say, well, look, you got taken out by the team that won.
Yeah.
But I mean, I wasn't even paid.
You got taken out by the team that was the runner-up last year. I mean, that's still even better.
Let me get let me knock some calls off here. I know I usually don't do it during a monologue segment of the show, but we do have a guest coming up. So let me go ahead and bang some of these calls. In order of the longest way, we go to Florida first with Paulie in the Cape. Paulie, welcome to the show. How are you? Paulie!
Hey.
You're on the air. Paulie!
Listen, I got to call you back.
Okay. Talk to you later. That's like talking to your buddy. Guy held for when did he call in? He was the first one in, so he called like 10 minutes before the show.
Yeah.
Paulie held for 28 minutes. Hey, I got to call you back. All right, call me back.
He's at the doctor, it sounded like.
The Phillip is in Virginia. Phillip, welcome to the show. How are you?
I'm better than being in Florida, where obviously there's problems.
Yeah, I think he's ordering breakfast or something down there. I don't know.
Speaking of problems, I am dying to hear your explanation, if you will, for the excessive retardedness of officiating in a $9 billion industry.
Oh.
I'm just going to shut up, and I want to hear you talk.
Well, I've been saying it over and over and over again. Again, I believe it's incompetence. I don't think it's anybody's trying to rig anything. I have a list here of people commenting on this gambler's comment. The gambler posts the thing saying, look, I'm a 30-year gambler. I'm a professional gambler. That's how I make my living. And I've never seen anything like this in my life. So now people are responding to that as to whether or not, what's going on out there. And it's kind of funny. It's really grassy knoll stuff. But honestly, Philip, I really do believe that with the HD, the slow motion, the 18 cameras, I think that these guys are really being exposed. I mean, did you see that one time where the umpire came in and the umpire, he was holding everybody up because the teams were making changes, and then the umpire backpedaled into his position? The umpire's like 65 years old, and he's in a backpedal, and he looks like an old man trying to get his newspaper or something. Did you see that, Philip?
He's gone.
Oh, he's gone.
He just wanted to llisten.
He just wanted to listen?
He just wanted to listen.
I mean, did you see it? It was hilarious.
Yeah,
they had the end zone shot, and the umpire's backing. He's backpedaling. I gotta get out of here. And then by the time he gets back there, he sits down and he's looking and he's huffing and he's puffing and everything else.
I'll say this: it's
the umpire, now the referee.
Playing around here, I've seen a couple of umpires that probably need to. They need to
high school. Yeah,
they need to have some program. They need a program.
Mix a salad in once in a
They
while.
need a program. Run them a little bit.
But in the NFL, should they not be well trained? Relatively young, and I say this is an age discrimination thing, right? But I'm going to say it because I'm 62. I shouldn't be refereeing an NFL game, okay? They should be probably 45 and under, athletic, where they can move, get in and out. And they should be full-time. They should be studying film. They should be going to practice with the teams, and they should live in NFL cities where they go to practice with the team and they work out with the team, not with the team, but at the facility, and then they go out for practice. And when they're doing you have the one-on-one drill between the wide receiver and the DB, where you have a guy as a back judge with them, and he can flag stuff and say, by the way, that's a hold right there. Okay, that's offensive, that's a push-off. And then you have a guy who's an umpire he's with the offensive and defensive line drill, when they're doing a pass pro drill or pass rush drill. Oh, by the way, that's an illegal move. That's this or that's that. And then during team up, you have the whole crew, a crew out there, and they're working their craft every single day, not writing insurance policies, not cleaning the floors, not deciding whether or not Billy should be suspended for a week because he got in a fight with another kid who called his mother a name. Okay? Not worrying about a legal case that he's got to be at and a tort that he's got to file on. Do you file torts? What do you file? I'm on a rant here. Yeah, not file a motion. Not worrying about having to file a motion. I'm not an attorney, but I do watch Suits. Not worrying about having to file a motion in court on Monday morning after the game. His whole job should be do the game, go get treatment on Monday, have Tuesday off, go to practice on Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, look at film, and be watching practice and officiating practice all the time. Well, that's only 2 hours a day, dog. What are they going to do the rest of the time? Look at film, study the rules, talk with other officials. Well, what are they going to do in the offseason? Well, first of all, come on. I mean, between minicamp and OTAs and summer camp, the NFL is at least a 6-month endeavor. And then any official that's got less than 10 years experience is working the spring league or the arena league. There's plenty of officiating to be done out there. Plenty of officiating to be done out there. Professional officials. And I don't care if you start them at entry level, $150,000. Are you telling me there aren't people out there that would do that job for $150,000 a year? I believe that at the NFL level, that the entry is around $5,000 a game. I think that's what the lowest paid guy gets paid, around $5,000 a game when they get in. It might be a little higher than that. We'd have to look it up, the NFL official pay. But at $5,000 a game, I'm doing math here on the radio show. At $5,000 a game times 17 games, that's $85,000 a year. I think that's what it is. $4,800, $4,900 to $5,000 a game, somewhere in there. $85,000. That's your starting income. Okay, so make it $100. Make it $100. I can't. I'm an attorney. I can't afford it. Well, then don't do it. Then don't do the job. Do some other job. I know that the highest paid officials, white hats, referees, the highest paid referees make $250,000, $260,000 a year, $260,000 a year. So you say entry level's $100,000. By the time you're 10-year official, you're making over $200,000, and by the time you're at 15 years, you're making $300,000. What does an umpire make? What is the average pay for an umpire who works 162 games? I think they work 150 games. I think they get a certain number of days off. So, Grizz, what's the average pay for a baseball umpire?
$300,000 per year.
$300,000 a year. Then why can't a football official make $250,000 a year? And that's the job. That's the job. Well, I can't afford that. I can't afford to do that. That's the job. You get expenses at $250,000 a year. And that's the job. Make it $300,000. Whatever it is that you need. It's a $13 billion a year industry. Being officiated by a bunch of part-timers, old men, fat guys. Except for the referee last night. He was kind of yoked. Some of those guys are in shape.
Like Little Hockley.
He looked like a little – he wasn't Little Hockley, but he looked like a Little Hockley. Yeah. He wasn't the actual Little Hockley.
There's a couple of them. You'll see like a couple of them in college and in the NFL that are working on those arms. They're just working on the pythons.
There's that dude in the Big 12 that's got the big arms.
I know exactly what you're talking about. Yeah.
But some of these guys – it's funny because they tailor their shirts. Some of these guys – like the referee last night – he had a schmedium on. Did you notice? Yeah, he had it. He had it like tailored and the strap.
Like
he had a trim cut.
Yeah,
because the other guys had like loose sleeves, like longer loose sleeves. This guy like went to a tailor and said, "Here, cut it off here, and then put a band on there and squeeze the crap out of my bicep."
Like he's playing.
Okay.
Looks like a soccer ref out there wearing like a tight fitted shirt.
Let's get a break. When we come back, Justin Ferguson, Auburn Observer, is back. Oh, sorry about that, Crimson Car. We'll get you in. Auburn Observer. He's next right here on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Tom Luganbill here for my friends at Woody Anderson Ford. Bobby White and his team take great pride in their service department, and you can see it the moment you walk into those beautiful new service lanes. And just like a championship team, they all work together to make sure your experience is second to none, whether you drive a Ford or not. Also, check out the gold certified pre-owned inventory at Woody Anderson Ford for great deals every day. Stop by and see them at Jordan and Sparkman or at Woody Anderson of Madison on Hughes Road, or visit WoodyAndersonFord.com.
Great food and the best live entertainment is what it's all about at the Furniture Factory Bar and Grill. Head to downtown Huntsville every Tuesday for karaoke on the only outdoor karaoke stage in North Alabama. Thursday night is the Valley's longest running and biggest bike night. Food and drink specials, giveaways, and live music on the patio. And the Furniture Factory menu is fully loaded with options from steaks to salads, plus a whole lot more. Featuring a weekday happy hour that starts at 3. 619 Meridian Street, downtown Huntsville, and online at FurnitureFactoryBarGrill.com.
Looking for your next game day party destination? Well, think outside the box and kick back at Flosa Premier. And you may be thinking, isn't that the trampoline place? Of course it is. But it's also the one-stop spot for all things fun. And if kicking back with the boys to watch the game is your jam, then you're in the right spot. Jump or not, Flo tends to all ages, meaning while you sit back and watch the game, but little Jimmy's having the time of his life perfecting that front flip he most definitely wants to show you. You got this, Jimmy. So next time you think Flo, think fun for everyone.
Tom Abraham here for my friends at North Alabama Mortgage. Did you know that average home equity is at an all-time high? But so is average consumer debt. Even though rates are higher now, you can use your equity to pay off your high consumer debt, student loans, etc., then refi when the rates drop. Don't put off that new home purchase. When rates drop, prices will go up. Buy now and get the best price and then refi when the rates drop. This is the time to talk to the experts at North Alabama Mortgage. Visit NorthAlabamaMortgage.com for more information.
There's nothing like the freedom you feel when you're on the water in your own boat from Freedom Marine in Guntersville. New or used, Freedom Marine has just the boat to make your time on the water the best it can be. Pontoons, fishing, ski boats, you name it. And all season long, Freedom Marine is giving away 4 packs of Alabama football tickets. Just log on the Freedom Marine Facebook page and like, share, and comment to be eligible. New and used boats, outboard sales, financing, service, and parts. It's Freedom Marine. Highway 431 in Guntersville and online at freedommarincenter.com.
Injuries at work happen all the time in Alabama, so do motor vehicle and slip and fall accidents. If you're hurt at work or injured in an accident, I want you to call my good friends at Pond, Lehocky, Giordano. That's Pond, Lehocky, Alabama's injury law firm. They got your back just like they've got mine. For personalized legal support, reach out to Pond, Lehocky at 855-774-3838 or pondlehocky.com.
The representation is made that the quality of the legal services to be performed is greater than the quality of legal services performed by other lawyers.
The Huntsville Sports Commission is driven by you, driven by those with grit, determination, and a goal to succeed. This is why we do what we do. The Huntsville Sports Commission promotes an enhanced quality of life in the Huntsville area through sports. We work hard to make sure those who come to Huntsville to compete have all they need to be the best they can be. The Huntsville Sports Commission. We do sports. Find out more at huntsvillesports.org.
Hi, this is Eli Gold, voice of the Alabama Crimson Tide. Join us every week for Alabama football right here.
Listen to Alabama football all season long on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Segment of the Tom Abraham Show is brought to you by my good friends at Pond, Lehocky, Giordano. You know, you get those injuries at work and or maybe a motor vehicle injury or a slip and fall accident. And if you're hurt at work or injured in an accident, call my friends at Pond, Lehocky, Giordano. Not just excellent attorneys, but true advocates who will fight for you, and they know the ins and outs of a legal game. For personalized and dedicated legal support, reach out to Pond, Lehocky at 855-774-3838. That's 855-774-3838. Or check out pondlehocky.com. Lehocky is spelled Lehocky. That's pondlehocky.com. All right, so we lost Justin Ferguson, okay, because he has got some player interviews, and I missed a note that said I had to get him earlier than – see, I went too long in the first segment. I went too long. So we lost Justin Ferguson. So you guys get this half hour. I'm also going to get the Tuesday Top 10, and we'll see how that works. So the phone lines are open now. If you want to weigh in, you can weigh in. Couple of notes. Obviously, if you want to continue to break down Alabama, Tennessee, we started that a little bit yesterday. It's an amazing transformation from last year, 52-49, to what this year's game is going to look like. Tennessee's defense has been outstanding. Alabama's defense has been better. All right, there are certain things that Tennessee does defensively that are even better than what we've seen out of Alabama. Okay, so both these defenses are really good. Both these teams are trying to pound the ball. Neither one of these teams throw the ball really well. We know we see Jalen Milroe doing a nice job throwing the ball downfield. He is a better runner than what you see out of Joe Milton, but we don't see him doing it as much as he could. Milton has been, showing the ability and the desire to run once in a while. Okay, so you're seeing some of that. But this is a really fascinating matchup. I think the line is too high. But keep in mind, I've been wrong on Alabama all year long. I have missed on Bama all year long as far as against the line. It feels like 9.5 is too much. This feels like another survive and advance game. This feels like 23-16. Some stupid score like that. It feels like that to me. But when you look at the things that Tennessee has done defensively, they're not giving up the big play like they were last year. Alabama's not giving up the big play. Neither team has, Tennessee doesn't have the big play offense that they had. They struggle throwing the ball. They're running the ball better. Alabama is just a big play offense. Alabama's hitting home run ball after home run ball, but they haven't been able to sustain things. They're not throwing the ball underneath. They're missing on the intermediate routes. Milroe tends to overlook an open guy in the flat to try and hit a guy a little bit down the field. Doesn't take what the defense gives them type mentality as much. Alabama's starting to run the ball better, but their offensive line it's just not been what it was all cracked up to be. And I don't know if it can get better and better and better or not. They ran the ball better against Arkansas on a play-after-play basis. Let's go to the lines. We start with Crimson Carl. Carl, welcome to the show. How are you? Congratulations on beating me and beat the big dog with that big 5-1 week of yours. I mean, you need to go to Vegas if you're going to pick games like that.
Yeah, I'd like to, but, going to the Music City Bowl is pretty nice, too. So.
Yes. No, you're going to enjoy the game for sure. December 30th, 1 o'clock game, and SEC against the Big Ten. So that's going to be good.
Hey, and that includes the buffet, too, right?
No. That's not. That's the grand trifecta. If you win the grand trifecta, which is for the Friday trifecta, you get the that's the VIP seating and the club level seating, the parking, and the food and all that kind of stuff. You won. You get just tickets.
I knew that. I was just trying to bait you.
You're baiting me. You're suckering me in is what you're trying to do. I feel you.
I was trying to get you on the phone to say that, but, it didn't work.
You'll get nice lower bowl. Yeah, you'll get nice lower bowl seats, though. I'll put you in the lower bowl. I got upper bowl and lower bowl. You'll be in the lower bowl.
Yes, indeed. Thank you.
So what else is up?
Well, that Phillip guy, he's a Cowboys fan. I'm a Cowboys fan.
Oh.
He's constantly barking about the officials. Just enjoy the win, dude.
Yeah. Well, the officiating didn't go against you much last night. I didn't think there was anything there. And look, let's be honest. It's funny to hear a Cowboy fan complain about the officiating because most people around the country feel like the Cowboys are the beneficiary of officiating. That the NFL, if the NFL is rigged in any way, shape, or form, they would always want the Cowboys to be good because it's better for the NFL when the Cowboys are good. Let's be honest.
Well, we're all kind of biased too.
Sure.
Calls come and go, but we're all kind of biased. We pull for who we like to pull for.
So I'm listening to the Browns game on my way home on Sunday from my tournament down in Florida, right? I'm listening to the Browns game, and you should have heard them. They had a measurement. It was a third down, and the Browns looked like they got it, and they came down to measure it, and they were measuring it, and the guy was holding the stick. Instead of holding the stick upright, he was holding the stick a little bit tilted, and because it was tilted, they said that the Browns were a couple of inches short, and it was like, and they're like yelling on the thing. They're saying, "Hold the stick upright. You're holding the stick. You're leaning the sticks, the chain. Hold the stick upright." And so they ended up having to challenge the call. And when they challenged the call, they realized that they had gotten the first down by a half a yard. And but that's what I think. We're just making the officials look bad. Replay, overhead cameras, super slow-mo, multiple angles in HD. I think what's happening is we're seeing how incompetent they are. It's not that they're trying to do it on purpose. They're just not very good.
I agree 100%. And, back to Milroe, it kind of aggravates me that, he's got such good legs that, he just continues to take sacks when he shouldn't. Yeah. I mean, it's mind-boggling.
Well, some of them are on the offensive line where they just are a sieve. They blow a slide protection or they miscommunication with the running back. Some of them. But many of them, I think half of them, personally, I go back and look at the movies, I think half of them, Milroe could dump the ball off. He could also roll out and throw it to the first down to the line of scrimmage, out of bounds. He has opportunities to avoid. He squeezes the ball too much. There are times where you got to get back there.
I agree.
1, 2, 3, let it fly. He doesn't do that. He misses open guys. So I think half of the sacks now, 30 sacks. My God, 15 would be a lot if half the sacks were on his fault. But half the time the line is getting whooped, and that's bad. I mean, they can't get whooped like that. But they don't do anything to prevent. They don't do anything. They don't burn the blitz at all. I think people, they don't care. They'll come. They're going to send the house at him because they know he's not going to throw the hot route. He doesn't know where the hot route is, or he's not hitting the hot route. Now, he's getting better and better, and that's what's going to make it very interesting when the offseason comes. If he leads them to an 11-2 season, or if they win the SEC championship, or if they go to the playoff, what the heck are you going to do? He's an incumbent, and he led them to a very good season. You know, Bryce Young didn't lead them to the playoff last year. And what if he leads them to the playoff? Then you go into the spring ball, and you're looking at, you know, Tyler Simpson. You're looking at who else is still there. Julian Sand is coming in. He's a top 5 quarterback in the country, top 3 quarterback in the country coming in. So it's going to be very interesting.
For sure. I mean, all things said and done, roll tide.
Roll tide. I hear you. I feel you. All right, Paulie is back. Paulie is over in the Cape, and he was on for 28 minutes, and then he had to order his. What time is it Eastern time? It's 1:40 Eastern, so Paulie's probably getting an early dinner. Them old people in Florida, this is about the time you hit the Morrison's buffet and have early dinner. Paulie, what happened? Why couldn't you talk to us last time?
I was getting a haircut right as I got.
Oh, a haircut. You go see Louis the barber or no?
No, my girlfriend Cheryl. She's cut my hair for a long time.
Oh, when you say haircut, you're talking about an actual haircut? Because, gambling terms, sometimes we say, a haircut. We know what a haircut is. You know what I'm saying? It's the VIG. A little haircut. I had to pay the haircut. You know what I mean?
Yeah. An actual good old haircut.
Oh, okay. What did you do before what did you do before you retired, if you don't mind me asking?
Well, I was in the casino business. I was a bartender for a while. And before that, I was in the computer business.
All right.
And then before that, I was in undercover security.
Okay. There you go. That's an interesting life right there.
Yeah. So I should have stayed in the casino business instead of coming down here.
Yeah.
Should just stayed in the casino. But, oh, well.
Yeah.
That's the way it goes. Anyways, I'm just a little tired about, that's the third 100-game winner team that's lost in the playoffs. Well, then let's go back to just the wild cards and only 14. But you guys wanted to dilute this and make this so many teams now.
Yeah, I don't like
that's what's going to happen. And now we're upset about that. Well, gee whiz, is the season really important? All of a sudden, it flipped from, back in the day, remember before I was born, it's like you win the AL, you win the NL, and then you go to the World Series, right? Wasn't it that way? The top 2 teams?
No, but 4, you know what? 4 would be enough. 4 would be enough.
Yeah.
To me, 4 would be enough.
All 7-game series. All
7-game series. I agree with you. Do you know that this is the first time in the history of Major League Baseball that the 4 teams that are playing in the ALCS and the NLCS all finished the regular season with 90 or less wins. I mean, that's weird. We have 4 teams that were 90 or less wins that are left playing right now after 162 games. We lose them?
He's talking about the Lions as the team on the move.
Yeah.
Well, they're all waiting to see what happens, but now they're positioned to be a division champ and highly ranked in the seeding. So
yeah,
we'll see. And then number 3, I don't know, Tom, you need to pull some strings and burn some favors, but they need to change this rough in the pass thing. The one against the Chiefs where he actually tilts his head away, places his shoulder pad in the guy's stomach, not high into the ribs, but in the stomach part. And I don't know how clean of a sack you can do when you're not blocked.
Yeah.
You're not blocked, and you're able to run a 4.340. What do you think's happening here? My God.
So it was I need to go look at that one. I didn't see that one. Again, I was traveling on Sunday, so that was a sack in the Jets Chiefs game, or in which game? In the Chiefs game.
The Chiefs Broncos one where that penalty got them to get life, and then they scored the touchdown.
That was the Thursday night game. Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, you see it. You see the D-back. He hasn't been blocked. He's got the sniper target on this guy. and he physically turns his head. He lowers his shoulder to hit him in the gut where all his muscles are, right in the stomach right there, to hit him in the ribs.
Yeah.
He doesn't drive him into the ground, but he's running full speed because that's what the human being can do.
Yeah. I got to go see that one. Grizz, if you can find it, send me the link to it. Yeah.
They're killing the game of football. They're killing it.
They're
killing it.
Ratings are higher than ever.
All right, man.
I appreciate you.
I'm waiting on Friday.
Yep. Ratings are higher than ever. Okay? Higher than ever. The ratings. Television ratings. The college football ratings, higher than ever. Everybody's like, they're having that thing in Congress today, they're talking about NIL. At least they're supposed to be talking about NIL. Yet they're talking about things like the roughing the passer rule, and they're talking about the war in the Middle East, and they're talking about all this other stuff with these people. They're supposed to be talking about NIL. Talk about NIL. And everybody's, it's ruining the game. It's killed the game. Well, okay, I don't like it the way it's not structured, and I don't like the transfer portal. But let me tell you something. Let me tell you what reality is. More people than ever are watching college football this year. This year, more people than ever. More people than ever. All right. We think that we lost Phillip earlier due to operator error.
Yeah, I hung up on him.
Okay. Grizz is owning that. It's a classy thing to do. He's owning that he hung up on a Phillip.
Sure.
So let's finish the Phillip off. Wait a minute. Starting like we started the show. Phillip, Paulie. All right, Phillip.
Just doing some Paul Feinbaum.
We apparently cut you off by mistake, Phillip. Go ahead and finish your thought.
Well, you ain't got Phillip.
Oh, so we got Brandon. Grizz is struggling. All right, we'll talk to Brandon. What? I'll talk to Brandon.
Am I there?
That's my fault. That's my fault.
That's your fault.
Happened?
Wait a minute. Now we got Phillip back?
We got Phillip back.
Okay, great. All right, Brandon. Wait a minute. Phillip, hang on a second. Brandon, you stay put. We'll get to you. Grizz is over there. He's spinning out or something.
I swear I put him on.
He just 5, 3, 2. This is what happens when too many people call the show. That's what the problem is. All right. So who am I talking to? Oh, Phillip. Phillip, go ahead.
Grizzy Grizz is like an NFL official apparently today. Look,
I'll throw the flag on him. I just threw the flag.
They don't pay me enough to do this job, so you're right.
Hey, you need to be full time. Wait a minute, he is full time.
It's rigged, dude. It's
not rigged. Not rigged.
If it wasn't rigged, this would not be happening. Don't give me your excuses about, well, now we have HD and over the top and all this, blah, 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 blah. We've had that for years, dude. We've had it for
officiating
years.
has been bad for years.
Years.
Are you saying the officiating used to be good? I mean, when has the officiating been good?
I'm gonna tell you something, and I hope Grizz is listening. He made a great comment last week when you weren't here, by the way, and you missed Troy Aikman being a championship typer. But
I don't believe that, by the way. I'm going to call out that tomorrow. I don't believe
that. Comment
that
because the Chiefs are getting the call. Grizz, help me out with this because you laid it out so perfectly. The reason the Chiefs get the call is because it's the next era of the next whoever, whatever. What did you
hang
say?
on. Wait. First, go get your tinfoil hat, Grizz, and put that on.
Let me
all right,
put
go
that
ahead.
on real quick.
Grizz has got his tinfoil hat on. What did you
What
say?
I said is because you know how for many years Brady was always getting the calls,
right.
and it was always about how Brady and everything about a veteran player, stuff like that, will get the calls. Now it's the new era of Patrick Mahomes, and Patrick Mahomes is that Brady player. So he's going to get all the calls. He's going to get all those veteran.
Aaron Rodgers gets the calls when he's playing.
Yeah, but I mean, how many times have people called out like Brady has been called out for numerous things.
Yeah.
Now Patrick Mahomes is like the new guy. I mean, he's the face of the NFL.
It's human nature.
You don't see the same calls with other players.
Yeah. Happens in all sports, by the way. Michael Jordan got all the calls in the NBA.
Look, and I said the same thing.
You say in baseball, you see certain guys that get the call.
Michael
other
Jordan,
guys that don't.
LeBron James. LeBron James has changed the complete sport of NBA when it comes to injuries.
But Greg
and
Maddux when he was pitching.
Flopping.
Greg Maddux pitched to a 25-inch wide plate. It was Greg Maddux.
Yeah.
He got the call off the plate. But I don't think Greg Maddux ever threw a strike in his life. Okay? Always got the call.
He never walked anybody, that's for sure.
All right, Phillip. I don't think it's rigged.
I hate to circle back, but I'm going to circle back. I'm going to bring this full circle.
Full circle.
Troy Aikman's career, and we've talked about this. Troy Aikman's career, the media was all about Brett Favre and Steve Young.
Oh, Aikman got the calls, though.
Greatest
Aikman and the Cowboys always got the calls.
Quarterback. That was the media's. That was the NFL's. Whatever you want to call it, that was their spiel.
The Cowboys got the calls. Come on, the Cowboys always got the. You telling me the Cowboys didn't get the calls?
Less Super Bowl championships than Troy freaking Aikman.
Because the Cowboys got all the calls. That's why. I mean, let's be honest.
That's not why. I'm just telling you, dude, you cannot be this inept and own a multi-billion-dollar industry. You cannot.
Can I
equate that with ineptness?
Can I say something before you start sounding like Wolverine Dan talking about Michigan every single day? Because you're bringing the same thing every single day to me. Let me just say this: how good was Aikman last night on the broadcast? I mean, Aikman was amazing on the broadcast last night. Did you see when he used the numbers to count the thing and he said, "I've never done that in 22 years"? And then he said, he started to say something about Dak Prescott not throwing it to wide open guys, and then he just stopped and he said, "I'm not going to say it. I'm not going to say anymore." Aikman was outstanding last night. He, you know what? He is better on Monday Night Football than he ever was on Fox. And Joe Buck, and Aikman, it's not close now. They are better than anybody on TV. All right, thanks for the call, Philip. All right,
hey.
so how about them Cowboys?
Hey.
Yeah.
I want to hang up on him.
How about them Cowboys? All right, at least he's not. Philip used to call a show and say the NFL wouldn't exist if it weren't for the Dallas Cowboys. All we heard from Brandon was it's not Philip. So can I talk to Brandon now before the break? I'll give him a couple minutes. All right, Brandon, what's going on?
Well, you were talking about holding the stick up right, and I've been a pro at that my whole life.
There you go.
Last week, I told you that I pulled some numbers on baseball that I wanted to talk about.
Yeah.
And I've got it pulled up in here in front of me, but I just want to tell you, officiating is so bad at a high school game Friday night that I wanted to see the team I was pulling for win. The official turns and says intentional grounding, calls the penalty, and coach is losing his mind. It was not intentional grounding. It was an illegal forward pass by about a foot, and they are so incompetent that they can't even call the right penalty.
Yeah.
And I don't know what was done about it. I mean, I knew what the call was, and people were screaming, and I said, he said the wrong thing. He said the wrong thing.
Yeah.
And then they claim later he looks at the tower and makes a hand motion, but they don't re-announce there's a correction. So, we got people ready to jump the fence.
Right.
Because they felt like they were fixing the game. And it's not that they're fixing the game. It's just that they're dumb. They're getting paid $58.
Yeah.
And I really don't know if they care.
I try not to criticize high school officials, even though I think you need to be pretty good. And at the varsity level, like Mark Russell, I think is very, very good. And I see some guys that are really good. But I try not to criticize high school officials because it really is a thankless job. For what they get paid, it really is a thankless job.
Yeah,
it is thankless for what they get paid. I wouldn't go to the game for the amount of money that those guys get paid. I'll be honest with you. You know what I mean? I know what I get paid to do a game. I wouldn't go to the game to to watch a game for what they pay these officials.
And I think a lot of these booster clubs around here pay for those salaries, so it's like it's really rough on not only the community but for them too.
Yeah, I think most of these guys around here get like $60 or $70 a game.
Need to ask Kramer.
I think that's what.
Yeah.
But I took a look. I've heard all these people hollering about, and one blowhard that calls a couple of these shows on the station talking about Acuna stole all these bases because the base is so much bigger.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, that helped. Yeah.
The number of stolen bases was up in 2023. There were 1.4 stolen bases per game in 1.8 attempts.
Right.
In 2022, there was an average of one stolen base per game with 1.4 attempts. Wow, that's a huge numbers change.
Well, wait a minute. Wait a minute. That is a huge number. Yeah, 1.4 from 1.0. You're talking about almost 1.5 bases stolen per game versus one base stolen per game. When you think about how many baseball games there are, 162 games times, 30 teams.
Yeah.
I mean, you're talking about like 1,000 more stolen bases than there were last year.
Not only the bases bigger, but you can only throw over twice.
Yeah, that's a big factor. Yeah.
Okay. Well, but I'm fixing to blow that all to hell here in just a second because I'm going to give you a real drill down. So MLB noticed excessive rate of base stealing attempts increased from 75.4% in 2022 to a record of 80.2% in 2023.
Right.
So you're talking 5% difference. Okay.
That's a big difference. That's a big difference in that many. That is a big difference.
Well, let's see if the usual suspects are responsible for the numbers. So if you take a look, last year John Birdie had 40-41 in 2022. He led all stolen bases.
Yeah.
He didn't even make the top 20 in 2023.
Right.
Jorge Mateo was second with 35 in 2022. In 2023, he finished 11 with 32. That's an 8.6% drop from the guy that was second place last year.
Right.
Bobby Witt Jr. was sixth in 2022 with 30, and in 2023 he finished fourth with 49, a 63% increase. So you got one dude that jumped. Well, then Acuna finished seventh in 2022 with 39, and in 2023 he had 73. That's a 151% increase.
Right.
So I'm going to take you to Kyle Tucker, who had 25 in 2022, and in 2023 he was tied for 15th with 30. So he had a 20% increase. Only 4 of the guys in the top 10 in 2022 even finished in the top 20 in 2023.
Yeah, because it's not. Yeah, but it's not about. But the thing is this: it's not about the leaders. I understand what you're saying. It's not about the leaders. It's the same thing that would happen with the home run ball. When the ball was juiced, nobody that year, a couple of years ago, when the ball was juiced, nobody hit 80 home runs. Everybody hit 40 home runs. That's what happened here. You didn't have anybody steal. Well, you had Acuna 152% or whatever you said. Nobody stole 120 bases though. Nobody broke Ricky Henderson's record of stolen bases in a season. But everybody seemed to steal 20. That's the difference, is that it's not the top guys. It's everybody else that never stole a base in their life or had 6 stolen bases that are now stealing 22. That's where it comes off.
But I don't believe it's the size of the base that's making a difference. I believe it's the pickoff attempt.
Yeah, it's both of them.
That you're limited to.
It's both of them.
You're doing that. But your best base stealers are not seeing a huge increase other than just 2 guys. And Acuna would have had way more last year had he not been hurt.
Yeah.
But when you look at those numbers and you see that, okay, well, only 4 guys out of 20% of them really saw much of a difference. I just don't see
the bases definitely. The bases definitely. As you know, Brandon, 4 inches makes a big difference. So I'll just say that the bases are definitely played a role. I mean, how many plays did we see back in the past that were bang, bang at second base, right? Bang, bang, bang at second base. Now the guy's there. No bang, bang. And the other thing is definitely the pickoff attempts. The less pickoff attempts. There's no doubt about it. Those 2 things, no doubt. All right, coming up, Connor O'Gara joins us next on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
Alumni Hall is the ultimate shopping experience for Alabama and Auburn fans. Located right here in Huntsville, come shop the best selection of officially licensed apparel, accessory, and gifts. Alumni Hall has the newest products from Nike, Under Armour, Yeti, New Era, Champion, Columbia, Southern Tide, Peter Millar, and more. And you can earn cash back with their Hall Pass rewards. Alumni Hall, located in the Bridge Street Shopping Center, or shop anytime at alumnihall.com. Alumni Hall, where fans shop. Look the part. Go to Alumni Hall.
Ann Adams with Berkshire Hathaway Rise Real Estate is the one name to know if you're buying or selling real estate. With years of local experience, Ann Adams offers buyers in-depth knowledge of the local housing market and will narrow available properties down to those you'll be interested in so you can save time when shopping for your new home. If you're ready to sell, Ann offers a seamless process using accurate pricing and expert negotiation skills to make sure you get a fair price for your home. Call Ann Adams today at 256-337-2625 or log on bhhsriserealestate.com.
This is Wes Neighbors sitting here with Philip Love of not only Eagle Insulation, now he represents Eagle Companies. Eagle through the years have added several companies to help individuals or builders through their construction renovation process. Eagle is known to represent quality, efficiency, and professionalism. Philip, I know you do insulation, but do you do masonry?
We do.
Do you do grading, erosion control, and dirt hauled off?
We do.
Do you do afterpaint, which includes shower doors, mirrors, shelving blinds, and bath hardware?
Yes, we do, Wes.
Do you do landscaping and irrigation?
Yes, we do.
So basically, Eagle can help you all along your process of building your house or doing renovations. So do you do plumbing?
We do not, Wes, but we can find somebody to do it.
Just give them time. They'll be there. Anyway, call Eagle Insulation at
256-755-1556.
Eagle saves you time. Eagle saves you money. Call Eagle today.
Thanks, Wes.
Sitting here with Mark Kent of Southern Fidelity Mortgage Group of Huntsville. Mark, do you help pre-qualify people?
We pre-qualify people all the time, Wes. As a matter of fact, I love having them coming in here because when they come in and they pre-qualify, they can leave my office knowing exactly how much they can buy and have no worries.
Mark, tell me about your rates and pricing.
Well, Wes, this is something we're really, really proud of. Long story short is, I love being able to provide the best pricing in town. Honestly, I cannot tell you the last time I lost a deal to either rate or pricing, something I'm very proud of.
So what all financing options do you have, Mark?
We do several different things. If you're purchasing a home, we can handle the purchase. If you're wanting to refinance your home, of course, rates are at the lowest they've been in the last 3 years. We do a lot of refinancing. If you're building a home, we can handle the entire process from breaking ground to the final close.
Do you sleep with your phone?
Wes, if you want to reach me, you can call me at my office phone, which is 256-562-1000. But always remember, I sleep with my cell phone at night. That number is 256-656-5936.
Hey folks, this is Arthur Seaton, managing partner at University Kia, proudly saying Roll Tide and War Eagle. Stop into University Kia today and shop one of the area's largest selection of new Kias, including Fortes, Seltos, Telluride, and Popular Carnival, and fully electric EV6. View all the great specials at universitykia.com and get pre-approved in minutes so you can drive home your new Kia you really want, because we want to see you in a University Kia.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Christine Lisi. Source told ESPN's Jeff Darlington today Titans quarterback Ryan Tannehill won't require surgery for the high right ankle sprain suffered in the loss to the Ravens on Sunday. Coach Mike Vrabel has said the ankle injury is similar to the one Tannehill initially suffered last season. He will get treatment around the clock. Titans are on a bye, so they will use this week for backups Malik Willis and Will Levis to throw and prepare in case Tannehill can't play October 29th against Atlanta. Manhattan prosecutors dropped the second-degree assault charge against Houston Rockets guard Kevin Porter Jr. due to insufficient evidence. He still faces charges for second-degree strangulation and third-degree assault connected to an alleged domestic violence dispute with his girlfriend last month. National League Championship Series, Game 2 tonight. Phillies up 1-0, host the Diamondbacks, 7:30 Eastern, ESPN Radio, Aaron Nola and Merritt Kelly.
WZZN, Union Grove, Huntsville, Alabama. 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
The Huntsville Sports Commission is driven by you, driven by those with grit, determination, and a goal to succeed. This is why we do what we do. The Huntsville Sports Commission promotes an enhanced quality of life in the Huntsville area through sports. We work hard to make sure those who come to Huntsville to compete have all they need to be the best they can be. The Huntsville Sports Commission. We do sports. Find out more at huntsvillesports.org.
Chapman Commercial Realty, your source for Alabama commercial real estate. Chapman Commercial Realty has the experience and expertise you're looking for when making commercial real estate decisions. If it's office space, retail space, investment property, or project development, Chapman Commercial Realty is your answer. Call Bill Chapman today at 256-656-8413. That's 256-656-8413. Or find him online at chapmancommercialrealty.com.
Hey there, Bob Baumhauer here to enjoy another great football season with y'all. And guess what? The salmon are running, so make sure you try our delicious lemon garlic salmon. And for you land lovers, try our sizzling char grill flat iron Callaway steak complemented with our special shrimp etouffee. And you'll definitely want to tackle our Alabama hot chicken smothered in our zesty and tangy immune boosting special Alabama hot sauce. Baumhauer's legendary fun and legendary food.
Thom Abraham here for my friends at North Alabama Mortgage. Are you thinking about home improvements? Well, use your equity now and refi later. Or use your equity to eliminate consumer debt forever, then refi to a lower rate and shorter term when rates drop. North Alabama Mortgage can also help you if you're thinking about buying an investment property or a second home at the lake or the beach or in the mountains. We have great programs to make that happen. Visit NorthAlabamaMortgage.com to learn more. That's NorthAlabamaMortgage.com.
You've got to experience Toyotathon at Bill Penny Toyota. They've got the selection with over 700 new Toyotas to choose from. And they've got the extras with Bill Penny perks and a 10-year unlimited warranty. So get on over to Bill Penny Toyota today and experience Toyotathon. Bill Penny Toyota in Huntsville and online at BillPennyToyota.com. Bill Penny's Toyota 10-year unlimited warranty is valid through the 10th year of ownership. Valid on new vehicles only. See dealer for details.
Sports Talk 24/7 365. Your full-time sports station.
You're doing a great job. Keep up the good work.
Is 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Doesn't anyone do any work around this joint anymore?
The opinions of Thom Abraham are not necessarily the opinions of the radio station or anybody associated with the radio station or ownership. These are strictly his own opinions, and sometimes they're not even his opinions.
You need to be more like a dog. Like what you guys are doing. You've got your fingertip on the pulse of your listeners. Guys know what they're talking about.
Be a dog.
God bless the show. You are the Messiah.
We need more dogs.
This is the best show on radio.
The big dog, Thom Abraham, is here with you.
Hey, I see you. I see you, dog.
So settle in and get your bark on.
That's my dog.
Now live. Here he is, the big dog.
Let's go, baby!
Thom Abraham.
How you doing? 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 How you doing?
Look, I don't speak Spanish.
I don't know how to say this, so I'm going to choose my words very carefully. I think you're a psycho.
Do you know who I am?
I mean, that guy sounds like El McPherson farting into Miles Davis' trumpet.
I guess I'm on here. Am I on? Can somebody respond? Get off my lawn.
I have to drag my Yankee ass out of here.
And welcome back, hour number 2 of the Thom Abraham Show. So glad that you are with us on the Top 10 Tuesday. We'll get to that Top 10 in a little bit. I'll tell you that this segment of the show brought to you by our good friends at Alumni Hall. You'll find them at Bridge Street for all your Alabama and Auburn gear, from gifts to tailgating items to the coolest clothing. It's Alumni Hall right next to the Kona Grill, across from Connor's Steakhouse. You need to look the part. You need to go to Alumni Hall, especially if you're going to the Alabama-Tennessee game or if you're going to the Auburn-Ole Miss game. And I think that's where I'm going to start with Connor O'Gara, who joins us now from Saturday Down South. Does a tremendous job as we begin the second half of the college football season. We'd like to get his midterm report, and he's on the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline. Connor, welcome back to the show. How are you, my friend?
I'm doing well. How about yourself, man?
I am fantastic. How is being a dad? I mean, how's that worked out with all your travel and other responsibilities and watching that college football on Saturdays and having that little kid to take care of as well?
Yeah, it's been good. Thankfully, I don't really travel a whole lot during the season, and part of that is because, doing what I do in this business and trying to be able to talk about every SEC game and feeling like I actually know what I'm talking about, I feel like I have to watch them. I feel like I have to watch these teams play. So thankfully, the trips have been very limited so far. But, yeah, at home on a college football Saturday, a lot going on. But you know what? It's all good, and I wouldn't trade it for anything.
How many TVs in the O'Gara setup when you're watching? Are you a one TV with a remote guy, or are you a 3 TV panel type thing going on, or what's it look like in the O'Gara Hacienda when you're watching the games?
One TV that's got that's got a game on that I'll occasionally flip, and then one streaming as well on my computer, sometimes 2. I think if I'm watching 3, I'm actually watching none. I don't process anything, and I like to be able to actually hear what's going on. So of I'll have like a headphone in for while I'm watching streaming, whatever game I'm streaming, and then usually like the SEC Network game I'm streaming, and then I have like whatever ESPN, ABC, or CBS game in the SEC is going on. That's on the main TV.
It's a beautiful thing that we have the technology that we have these days too, that we're able to get so much of this stuff and see so many of these games. You can go to YouTube and get full game in an hour and all that kind of crazy stuff. So when you have to do this, and by the way, I agree with you. I did for years and years. I was always at a game. In fact, for CBS Sports Radio, if the 2:30 game Central Time was in Tuscaloosa, Auburn, or Knoxville, I would be at the game covering it for CBS Sports Radio. And when COVID hit, for the first time in my 20-something year career, from coaching to broadcasting to covering games live and all that stuff, I found myself sitting at home, and I was like, in my glory, I was like, this is amazing. Look at all these games. I can follow everything. And the Barca Lounger's right there, and the refrigerator's over there, and the bathroom's over there, and I'm in bed before the late game ends. I mean, this is amazing. And so I'm with you. I mean, it is as good as it is going to a game. What it is like to be able to watch as many games as we can watch on a Saturday and process it all now is truly incredible.
Yeah, I mean, there's nothing that beats it in my opinion. It's like, I love being able to get that feel in person. And like when Orlando hosted Florida State LSU, I was there for that. It's kind of nice when something like that's going on because it's 10 miles away from my house and I don't have to miss other games while that's going on. But yeah, I mean, for the most part, the ability that we have as college football fans to sit home and consume as much as possible, I don't think we should take that for granted because it wasn't that long ago when we couldn't do that.
Yeah.
Now we're at a place where we're incredibly spoiled.
When I was a kid, 3 college football games a weekend. That's it. You had 3 college football games on a Saturday, and that was it. And I grew up in the era where you were only allowed to be on TV 3 times in 2 years and no more than twice in 1 year. And it was incredible. It was nuts. And then they did that CFA thing and to try and get more games on TV and everything else. Well, so yeah, for me, this is ridiculous. All right, halfway point of the season, as I said, Conor O'Gara with us here from Saturday Down South, an outstanding source for anybody that is a college football fan. And they, by the way, they have, they also cover the Big Ten and they cover the Pac-12 and they cover football all over the country at their various sites. Biggest surprise, positive or negative, in the SEC for you at the halfway point of the season?
Biggest surprise? Yeah, that's a good question because not to pat myself on the back too much, I did have LSU losing those exact 2 games in the month of September, so I can't necessarily say that. Let's say the biggest surprise in the SEC is that Alabama's offensive line is this bad. To me, I thought that was going to be the strength of this team, and Alabama's offensive line is not pulling its weight. It's pretty obvious, and they've had good instances where they've been able to run the football. But if there was going to be a team that accomplished this feat, which is 6 consecutive games in which it allowed 4 sacks, at least 4 sacks. First team in the SEC to do that in the last 20 years. That was a note I saw in SEC football final. If you had told me, hey, there's going to be a group in the SEC that does that, there's no way I would have predicted it would be Alabama. And that's, to me, pretty startling that it's such a liability. Going into this game against Tennessee with a defensive front that can absolutely get after the quarterback, I think it's an obvious weakness for Alabama. It doesn't mean I think Alabama's going to lose the game, but at the same time, I think that's been pretty surprising after all the offseason narrative, the joyless murder ball that everybody was talking about. Right. To see that group struggle as much as it has been pretty startling.
Arkansas at 2-5. I was one of the people that was drinking the hog Kool-Aid. I thought that this was going to be the next move for them after the 6-6 season last year. Is it a surprising? I mean, they've played a bunch of one-score games, but is it surprising that we've reached this point with Arkansas at 2-5?
In certain ways, yes, because I thought they would beat BYU. I didn't think that they would be at this point where they'd be 2-5. It was still going to be the most difficult 4-game stretch that any team in college football had, and that is what they're finally out of. I mean, this was a really, really difficult stretch for a team that had a new offensive scheme, 2 new coordinators, and it's not like you're just stockpiled with 5-star talent there to be able to make that work. And so, yeah, I mean, we've seen that play out. This game against Mississippi State, against a couple of teams that are winless in conference play, it feels like a desperation bowl, in my opinion, more so than a toilet bowl, But, yeah, I was dead wrong on them in certain aspects because I thought the transition with this new offense would be better. I didn't think they'd be as bad as they are on the offensive line. Talk about surprising bad offensive line. That's definitely one of them, especially when you consider Sam Pittman is the head coach. But I think that group has been underwhelming. And I don't think they're as bad as the record says they are, but I do think that they're a team right now that is right in the middle of that fork in the road where they can go one way or the other. And if this thing spirals into a 4-8 season, we're going to be having some different conversations about Sam Pittman.
ABC's Tom Luganbill was on the Alabama-Arkansas game on Saturday. He came on the show on Monday, and he said, I'm starting to get this feeling that Alabama is going to screw around. This is his words, that Alabama is going to screw around and figure out a way to end up in the playoff. What would be your reaction to that? This Alabama team, which is still stuck just outside the top 10 in the AP, is there a chance in your mind when you look at the way the schedule sets up now and the issues that LSU has on defense and the issues that Tennessee has on offense and so on, all the way through to the end? Obviously, they'd have to win the SEC championship game. Do you think there's a possibility that Alabama will screw around and end up in the playoff?
I don't think they will. If I'm predicting today, are they in the driver's seat to be able to win the SEC West? Absolutely. Can I guarantee that they're going to get there still with just the Texas loss? No, I can't. I don't know that they have the upside. You know what? Let me take that back. I don't think Alabama has the upside to be able to win a playoff game. I don't think they do with this team and the issues that we've seen play out. When I think the sample size is large enough to be able to make some of those determinations. I think even some of the Alabama teams that have had slow starts to the season, you kind of look back and are like, all right, well, they could still fall back on an unbelievable defense, and they still had the guys on the offensive line and the running game to be able to kind of bury, to take them out of some of these tough spots. And this team just doesn't really have that. And I think that they're a bit too mistake prone to be able to beat those elite teams. And that's why they've lost to the best team that was on their schedule. I don't think they can mess around and make it to the playoff. If they're getting to the playoff, it's because they really have figured some things out and they've surpassed even my expectations, which I still think are pretty high for a group that many people were writing off after the USF game.
So to that team that might be on the other side, or that would be predicted to be on the other side out of the East, Georgia, still steaming along undefeated, finally starting to really play, what we would expect Georgia to play like, and then they lose Brock Bowers. Does the loss of Brock Bowers now put the Florida game in question, the Tennessee game, Ole Miss? Is Georgia vulnerable, or is Georgia still Georgia and they rocket through the rest of the schedule?
I think Georgia's still going to get through unscathed, but am I as confident in that as I was? No way. I mean, everybody's talking about how Georgia could sleepwalk through this schedule and get to 12-0. That's no longer the case. If you're still holding on to that belief, you haven't been paying attention. 3 of their next 4 games are against AP top 25 teams, and the one game that isn't is against a Florida team that's third in the receiving votes category. So I think that you're looking at Georgia's upcoming slate going, they got to figure some things out, or else there are teams on that schedule that can beat them with what they do well. Now, what I think is worth remembering is that Georgia is in this spot because they have had really significant injuries over the course of the last few years that they've had to endure. I mean, everybody's talking about what a death sentence it was for Georgia that George Pickens went down in 2021, goes down in spring with a torn ACL, and they didn't even need that guy that year to be able to win a national championship. Last year, they lose Nolan Smith, their senior captain at the midway point of the season. It doesn't matter. They still go on to win a national championship. So, can Georgia do that once again with Brock Bowers and a schedule that's a little bit trickier than we thought? I would probably say yes, but they can't play their C-minus game, and I think that's the difference. And you saw with Bowers and what he did against Auburn, that guy can just make you so much better than you are even on your worst day.
Connor O'Gara with us from Saturday Down South. All right, to Auburn. Auburn had gone 6 straight, this is an amazing stat, 6 straight SEC games with less than 100 yards passing. They broke that streak with 102 yards passing at LSU. How shocked are you that with the transfer quarterback Peyton Thorne and the transfer coach and Hugh Freeze that Auburn is still so unbelievably anemic in their passing game, because they have, by the way, I had them winning the 3 non-conference games and losing these 3 games they've lost. They're exactly where I thought they would be at this point. In July, I said, tell me if they're going to split the 2 games against the Mississippi teams at home. And now I'm saying, tell me if they're going to split the 2 games against the Mississippi teams at home, and I'll tell you whether or not they got a shot to get that 6th win. But talk to me about Auburn and your impression of what we have seen there.
To be fair, let's not sell Auburn short. They had 154 passing yards against LSU. We had 50.
Oh, is that what it was? I thought it was 102.
Yeah.
Oh, my bad.
Peyton Thorne had 102. Robbie Ashford.
Oh, I forgot about Robbie.
Quarterback system.
Yeah, that's right.
That's right. Yeah.
I didn't add Robbie.
So hey,
they lit it up.
Let's not sell. Yeah. Oh, totally. 6 consecutive games against Power 5 competition without having 100 passing yards is startling. And this is the year 2023, not 1923. And look. This is a group that to me, it is all about Hugh Freeze trying to establish that identity in year one. If it was what gives us the best chance to win in this 60-minute window, I think we would be seeing a lot more Robbie Ashford. But we're seeing more Peyton Thorne because he wants to establish a passing identity, and he wants to be able to say, hey, we do throw the football here. We're not just a service academy. I want to be able to recruit quarterbacks. I want to be able to recruit at this receiver position and run the offense that I feel is fit. So a lot of people would look at that and say, well, shouldn't you just try and win football games? It's like, yeah, but there are some macro issues with doing it the way that Auburn probably could do it in order to have its best version of itself. And so that's a complicated way of saying, no, I don't really have a whole lot of faith in them moving forward. Yeah, maybe they can get that win against Mississippi State. I don't really trust Mississippi State to go on the road and win. But at the same time, you're seeing the issues. And I think Hugh Freeze elevated the floor of that program in year one with what he did in the transfer portal. And it's still in a much better place long term. But this was always going to be the issue with this team. And we're seeing it play out week after week, even when they look good, I guess, by their own very low standard against LSU.
From 30,000 feet, would Auburn have been better off if Lane Kiffin had taken that gig? I mean, it's going to be very interesting to see what it's like for Lane Kiffin when he walks into that stadium because, he basically spurned, Auburn for whatever reason. And so they end up with Hugh Freeze. And I don't know if Auburn fan feels like they're better off with Hugh Freeze or would have been better off with Lane Kiffin. In your mind, when you look at it from above, was Hugh Freeze feel like a second choice? Would have been better off if Kiffin had said yes?
I think they would have been better off in the short term, but I'm not convinced they would have been better off in the long term. Mm-hmm. I don't know that Lane would have worked there. I don't know that he would have always jived with those decision makers, and I think he's in a much different situation at Ole Miss. And I think the relationship that Hugh Freeze has with the people at Auburn and the alignment and the self-awareness that he has for his current predicament and what he's trying to rebuild, I think that, to me, was going to benefit Auburn long-term. And I think Kiffin is in a good situation at Ole Miss for what he brings to the table. I think that there would have been a lot of hype and a lot of excitement. I think Lane could have done probably even better than you did in the portal in that year one, and maybe getting quarterbacks in there would have been a little bit easier for him given what he's done on the recruiting trail in recent memory. But still, I have questions about whether or not he would have been able to get total alignment from that Auburn administration in the long term. But it'll be one of those things that will probably break down. And, if Hugh Freeze ends up being a 3-and-out guy, 3 years and out, then of course we're going to probably look back and say that Lane would have made more sense.
The over-under number for the Alabama-Tennessee game is 48. Both teams went over that last year. What a stunning turnaround. I mean, Tennessee playing great defense, can't throw the ball downfield, runs the ball pretty well for sure. Alabama playing great defense, can't throw the ball underneath, not running the ball as well as they would like to run the ball. But it's like both these teams completely changed their identity from what they were last year, a lot of that having to do with personnel. Are we looking at a full-blown slobber knocker Saturday? I mean, I'm not saying 6-3, 2004 style, or 2005 style, but are we looking at a slobber knocker, old school, could this be a 21-17 type of football game?
I think so. I'd be surprised if it wasn't. The over-under for this game is 48. Both of these teams had more than that by themselves last year.
Right.
It is a much different game. And I think if you watch Tennessee against an A&M defense that is really, really good up front, they lost 3 defensive starters in that game alone. But I think you see why Tennessee is much different than what we have come to expect with Josh Heupel coach teams. That was their first time ever having a game in which Josh Heupel's team won, scoring less than 30 points. I mean, that includes his UCF stuff too.
Wow.
Like they are not a team that has typically won that grinded out style in which the offense hasn't really been clicking. And the run game is still good. Like that's the good thing for Tennessee is you can still lean on that. But I don't really trust Joe Milton. I don't really think Joe Milton is that guy, and he's got some really nice surroundings, a nice offensive line, a defense that's really getting after it. But, yeah, to me, I look at all those elements, and, Jalen Milroe, as we've seen, he has those limitations. And even when he's been in his absolute best, Bama's not putting up 45 points.
Right.
He was at his best in that game against A&M, and he was at his best in a game plan that made a lot of sense for him. They took advantage of those matchups on the outside. So, yeah, I think it's going to be a low-scoring game. Again, not 6-3, but, yeah, something that feels a little bit more like a 21-17, 24-14 type game.
Would Milroe be starting at Tennessee?
No, because of the history with Joe Milton and Josh Heupel. That's the part of it like that probably needs to be remembered is the context of Josh Heupel calling Joe Milton after he would play high school games, and he would say, "Hey, come to Mizzou. You could do great things with us over here." I mean, that shows you how far back this goes. So, no, I don't think that'd be the case, but part of that is because of the infatuation with Joe Milton, who people forget won the starting job over Hendon Hooker in year one of the Josh Heupel era.
Yeah, I guess I'm taking out of it the the intangible aspect of that. I guess I could turn that around. Would Joe Milton be starting at Alabama?
No. I think Milroe would still be the guy. Joe Milton's lost the starting job twice. He's lost the starting job twice.
Yeah.
Like nobody was talking about that in the preseason. Instead, everybody's talking about he could throw a football 90 yards. You know who's got the fewest completion of 20 yards of any quarterback in the SEC who's been starting? Joe Milton. Okay,
Yeah.
Like deep ball accuracy versus deep ball ability. Those are two very different things. I don't necessarily think he's been what Tennessee fans were hoping he would be after he finished the year really, really well and was awesome, I thought, in the Orange Bowl. But, yeah, coming into this year, I think those expectations have not been met yet.
I don't know if you heard Nick Saban's comments yesterday, but he said, when I look at Joe Milton, I see pretty much the same thing I did with Hendon Hooker, and everybody just stopped listening at that point in time. It's it's not. I mean, you sell that to your own team, but I mean, come on, let's not be silly. That's nuts. All right, excellent job as always. Saturday Down South is where you find them. Also, the podcast there does a tremendous job with the podcast. I fired about 15,000 questions at him, and he hit them all right on the head. Great stuff from Connor O'Gara. Connor, I appreciate you, man.
Absolutely appreciate it, man. We'll do it soon.
All right, thank you. All right, Stephen A. Smith. You cannot look anywhere and not find Stephen A. Smith. I mean, it's nuts. He's on everything on the ESPN, right? And now I'm watching the TV here, and they're promoting the Stephen A. Smith book, Straight Shooter, which is on my list. I want to read that book.
Yeah.
So I got that on my list of books that I got to read. I'm two or three books behind. I'm reading a Vince Lombardi book that's taken forever. It's a 600-page Vince Lombardi book, When Pride Still Mattered. And so that's taken forever. And I'm trying to read this novel that I want to read, but I can't read that while I'm reading the biography of Vince Lombardi. And I'm trying to read the Bible, and it's crazy. But I'm sitting there, so I'm watching, and they're promoting the Stephen A. Smith book. And then Stephen A. Smith is coming out, and then I realize I'm watching The Talk and not ESPN. So now Stephen A. Smith is on The Talk.
Oh, gosh.
He's on with the chicks.
Well,
he's on with all dudes. But yeah.
Was it I think he was on he was on Law and Order or something, and then he's
in a soap opera.
Yeah, he was in a soap opera.
General
He was in some other show too. I mean, he's all over ESPN. He's on the pregame for the NFL on Monday night. He does the basketball pregame. Yeah.
He's on a soap opera. I think he's a detective on a soap opera.
Yeah.
He's like a cop or something on some soap opera.
Yeah, one of these daytime soap operas or whatever.
Yeah.
But it was also like he was a cameo in Law and Order or something like that, I think it was.
Was he really?
It was like one of the spinoffs, or maybe it was one of the detective shows or whatever on whatever network it was.
Grizz, if you get hurt, all right, whether you've been hurt at work or whether or not, playing sports or maybe you just start to break down a little bit, TOC, they've got the orthopedic specialists there that pretty much every high school uses in the region.
Yeah.
And Alabama A&M and Huntsville Havoc, they rely on TOC as well, regardless of what kind of injury you have had. They got the right specialist for you. They're North Alabama's largest sports medicine provider. That's TOC Sports. Stay in the game with TOC. All right, let's get a break in here. And when we come back, open lines the rest of the way. Our Tuesday top 10, which is basically based off of some real conspiracy stuff in a relationship to a post that was put up by a professional gambler. You're going to like that. And we'll get your phone calls in. It's all coming up right here on the Tom Abraham Show, 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
You're listening to the Tom Abraham Show on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
Tom Luganbill here for my friends at Woody Anderson Ford. Bobby White and his team take great pride in their service department, and you can see it the moment you walk into those beautiful new service lanes. And just like a championship team, they all work together to make sure your experience is second to none, whether you drive a Ford or not. Also, check out the gold certified pre-owned inventory at Woody Anderson Ford for great deals every day. Stop by and see them at Jordan and Sparkman or at Woody Anderson of Madison on Hughes Road, or visit WoodyAndersonFord.com.
What's better than 2 end-zone sports bars? 3 end-zone sports bars. And we have you covered with our original location on University across from Red Lobster, in Jones Valley on Cecil Ashburn near Carl T. Jones, and our newest location in the Midtown District on McMurtry Drive opposite the Target Plaza. All locations feature the NFL Sunday Ticket, Tuesday half-price burgers, and Wednesday $1 jumbo wings all day long. You're never far from the end zone. End Zone Sports Bar.
Do you have discomfort in your legs? Varicose veins can affect not only how your legs look, but how they feel. Symptoms of varicose veins include pain, swelling, aching, heaviness, and fatigue. Dr. Tracy Lowry of Best Vein Care of Huntsville can diagnose and treat your varicose veins with the latest minimally invasive techniques. Diagnosis and treatment is covered by most insurances. Call 256-715-7151 to schedule your free screening. Go to bestveincarehuntsville.com.
The kitchen is the heart of any home. It's where the family gathers. It's where kids discover old recipes and make them their own. Just starting out or just now getting started on the dream kitchen you've always wanted?
I'm Chris Haygood, and from all of us here at Bob Wallace Appliance to the home builders and the homeowners of the Huntsville area, a heartfelt thank you for buying local. We're in Huntsville, Florence, and Coleman, and online at bobwallaceappliance.com.
Are you tired of power outages disrupting your life? It's time for a Generac standby generator from Current Electrical. Storms may rage outside, but inside your family's powered up. So why choose Current Electrical for your generator needs? 1, we offer a wide range of models to suit every budgeted energy requirement. 2, our project managers handle every step of the process: power, gas, permitting, and inspections. 3, our certified technicians install your generator with precision, ensuring peace of mind. Don't wait for the next blackout. Call 256-880-1880 or visit us online at GenSuperstore.com.
No representation is made that the quality of the legal services to be performed is greater than the quality of legal services performed by other lawyers.
This is Wes Neighbors sitting here with Stan McDonald. Stan, tell everybody why you're the best damn dirt lawyer in North Alabama.
Yes, Wes, at Jacob Title and the Stanton Law Firm. You know I'm a dirt lawyer, and a lot of our friends know that, which means we specialize in real estate. Now, if you own real estate or you're buying it or you're selling it, you need to do a closing, but a lot of times there's legal issues associated with that. We're a great group to talk to. My son, Lewis McDonald, heads our commercial closing division, and we approach your real estate needs very seriously. We seek to be the premier real estate closing company in North Alabama, and we do it in such a way it shows that we're experienced, we're for your success. We like to handle your real estate needs the same way Coach Dan Reeves used to say, never let them see you sweat, and that's going to be to your benefit too when you visit us at Jacob Title and the Stanton Law Firm. Our website online is jacobtitle.com.
Normally, when you call a roofing company, all you hear is, you need a new roof. Not when you call Fleming Roofing and Restoration. Since 1965, the folks at Fleming have been focused on what you need, whether it's an easy repair or a full roof replacement, commercial or residential. And when it comes to storm damage, you want Fleming on your side. They know all the ins and outs of insurance claims and will guide you through the entire process. Log on FlemingHSV.com and book your free estimate today. Fleming Roofing and Restoration. We show up.
From the Fox 54 Weather Center, I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman. A mostly sunny sky this afternoon. Temperatures climbing into the mid and upper 60s. Some of us could actually see the lower 70s. Overall, a really fantastic day across the Tennessee Valley. We drop into the mid and upper 40s as we head into the overnight, early into your Wednesday morning. Plenty of sunshine on Wednesday afternoon. Temperatures a little more seasonal for this time of year. Highs climbing into the mid 70s. Dropping into the upper 40s, lower 50s as we head into the overnight, early Thursday morning. I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman on your home for ESPN Radio, 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
New coordinators.
That's as good as money, sir.
New quarterback.
It's my quarterback.
Same coach.
All right, and you all may be taking the week off, all right, this week, but I'm not.
We are your home of the Alabama Crimson Tide. 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
Number one draw in the league. If the NFL was rigged, do you think Des Bryant's catch would have been overruled? If the NFL was rigged, do you think they would have found a way to get the Cowboys to at least the conference championship game for the first time since '95? Yes, they would have. The NFL is not rigged. The NFL is flawed. It is not rigged.
Embers floating on a sapphire breeze, somewhere between heaven and the tall pine trees. Hard land, I'm missing you. Guitar playing through the night, it felt pretty good and feeling alright. Good as one for the price of two.
Welcome back, Thom Abraham Show. The segment brought to you by the service team at Woody Anderson Ford, experts in the service of Ford and other makes, using genuine Ford and Motorcraft parts on every Ford service job. And they do tire rotations, wheel alignments, brake jobs, oil changes, engine tune-ups, tranny work. They do it all at the service department and the Quick Lane Tire and Auto Center. They have got you covered at Woody Anderson Ford with dependable service, no matter the make or model. Tremendous body shop down there as well. They'll take care of all the insurance for you. They do a tremendous job with that. Certified gold pre-owned vehicles, new inventory. It's all at the corner of Sparkman and Jordan Lane. It's Woody Anderson Ford, the only place I've gone in the Tennessee Valley since 2004. All right, phone lines are open, so if you want to jump on in, you can do that. Let's get Wolverine Dan taken care of here, and then we'll get your Tuesday Top 10 in for you. Wolverine Dan, welcome to the show. How are you?
Well, quite well, Tom. Just getting everything prepped up for the contractor to come out Friday. So.
Oh, for the Friday trifecta. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, no. I mean, I got a contractor come working on the.
Oh, you got a contractor. I thought you said for the contest on Friday, or for the contract.
No. That's all right. Hey, listen. You piqued my interest a little bit. You know, and you mentioned when you were talking to one of the guys that called before me, it mentioned something that I would just start with Michigan. Well, I'm going to throw you a curveball.
Or the Lions. I mean, it's Michigan or the Lions. I mean, it's always going to be.
Whoa. I got to see the Lions. That's why I'm calling. It ain't Michigan. It's the Lions.
Yeah. One or the other.
I know what. Okay, well, it's not Michigan, so at least I didn't. You're pre-calling my discussion on the radio there.
Yeah.
But all right, so let's talk about the Lions. You mentioned to me that the ratings are the attendances and the ratings for college and NFL football are higher than they were last year, correct?
Higher than ever in college football, and higher than the NFL ratings are up significantly.
All right, so I'm going to throw this at you. Now I'm not sure how many Lions games you've watched, and I don't expect you to, and I understand that, no biggie. But I've watched every one of them. And the thing I noticed on every one of those games, the away games, there is a lot of Lions fans in those stands, all right? And the way they're playing, people are watching, and the attendance is up at these stadiums because our fans are finally getting riled up and excited about a season. Definitely, percentage-wise, the division could be ours, percentage.
Well, no, division's yours. I mean, that's over with. They've won. They're going to win a division. The 3 road games you've played, though, at the Kansas City Chiefs, they've sold out every game for 8 years now. At the Green Bay Packers, they've sold out every game forever. And at the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, which has sold out every game since they won the Super Bowl a few years ago. So those 3 games, whether they're playing the Lions or whether they're playing the Sisters of the Poor, are going to be sold out. The 3 road games you played are against teams that, and next you go to Baltimore this week. Baltimore always sells out. When you go to the Chargers, it's going to be 3/4 Lions fans. Like last night, it was 80% Dallas Cowboy fans. When you go to the Chargers, all those West Coast people that are from Detroit that left that hellhole and live out there in San Diego and Los Angeles and in California, they're all going to see the Lions play in Los Angeles. So it's going to be all Lions fans. So most of these games are at places where they typically are sold out anyway.
Well, the Detroit might be a hellhole, Tom, but at least I'm not stepping in. You know what?
Yeah, but you're not living there either. You know what I mean? You're
No,
smart.
I ain't living there, no.
It's a good place to be from.
understand.
You know.
I think you and I are just about the right place we need to be for the rest of our life. To be honest with you, on the face of this earth. But if you notice, when the games are finished, how many Lions fans hang around and really have a big time? And I mean, we're not taking over cities. But we're representing, and the reason these Lions fans are great fans.
Yeah,
I've been a Lions fan all my lifetime. I'm always backing my team no matter what. We have backed our teams no matter what, and now it's starting to show that we can compete. We are a team to be reckoned for. We're the best record in NFL, along with 2 other teams that made the Super Bowl last year. This test next weekend. Coming up, I should say, Lamar Jackson is one heck of a quarterback, and man, he can scramble and he can throw the ball. Unlike Baker, couldn't throw the long ball. Jackson has that in him, and their defense is good. So this is going to be a real big test for us.
Yeah, it's a tough game.
If we can get through this, Tom, it holds well for the division championship. I want to get it. I want it sooner than later, the championship, so I can go get my money.
Yeah, you're going to get that locked up. I don't know if they pay that until the end of the year, but you'll have that championship, the division.
Whoa. If I win it's lock and I want it, so why wouldn't they pay me?
I don't think they do. I think they don't pay until the last game of the season, even though, if a team clinches with 3 games to go, I don't think they pay those off. I'm not sure. I may be wrong, but I didn't think they paid those off until I thought all of the bets on the future bets like that.
So what they're doing, they're holding on to the money and get a couple more percentages in the bank.
But what you're saying about the Lions is true. Anytime, see what the Lions are, I believe, is they're a generational team in as much as this. Lions fans are Lions fans because they're either from Detroit or because their families have been Lions fans. So they're Lions fans all the way through. It's the same with Browns fans. Browns fan is a generational fan. Nobody wakes up nowadays and say, I want to be a Browns fan, unless they're born and raised in Cleveland. That's their fan. Or their family is all Browns fans, and that's what you have. So Detroit, Cleveland, some of those teams, these are teams that were very successful in the 50s. Your grandfather, your father, your cousins, your uncles, everybody was all Lions fans, and so it continues on. I have grandsons that are Browns fans. You know what I mean? Why? Because it's a family team. So that's the way that is, I think, with teams like that.
Well, real quickly, I'd love to have my dad here right now. It would be a dream for him and I together. And, I'll tell you one thing out there, and listen to me. If you've got a dad or a mom that loves football and you have not been to one of the games with them, and I was 2 days away from getting into a Michigan game. My dad got sick, and he told the doctor, says, listen, I said, I got 2 days. Can't I just hold off until the game? And after the game, you could pull up to the door of the Michigan stadium and take me to the hospital. But I need to do this with my son, and it didn't happen. So I regret that day. So from now on, everybody out there, you got the opportunity and your health's there.
Yeah. Take
your mom or dad to the game.
That's a great point. I need to do that again. I took my father to an Alabama game, but I didn't. My father and my oldest son sat together. I was covering a game. I was in the press box, and they sat and watched it. I need to take my dad to an Alabama game. He took me to Browns games as a kid, and we went to several Browns games as a kid. And, I promised my father 15 years ago, I promised my father I'd take him to the Masters because I had a connection back then, and I lost my connection. And it's killing me that I haven't taken him to the Masters. I want to take him even on a Wednesday or something to just take him.
Ginger and I, in closing, Ginger and I saw a picture of you guys just the other day. Your mom and dad look great. Your wife looks great, but Tom, I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah. see you, brother.
Yeah, appreciate you. Looking at this video. Is that the sack? Is that what you sent me, Grizz? The sack?
Yeah, I believe so. I believe that's what he's talking about, yeah.
Let's see. Oh, it was against the Chiefs. Oh, yeah, that's a good hit. They called that.
Yeah.
It was against the Chiefs. I thought he said it was making it like it was against – it was the penalty
That was the only one when I searched it I found. So
that's the play he's talking about. A
yeah.
guy made a perfect tackle on him. But he made a perfect tackle on him, but it was the Chiefs that were being penalized. It wasn't the other team.
Yeah.
It wasn't like they were.
Well, there was one in that same game where
Mahomes got sacked?
No, Mahomes wanted roughing the passer, and then he threw the ball and got intentional grounding. So it kind of like didn't work out for him, obviously, in the play. But there was a situation where it could have been borderline roughing the passer the way the guy, because the guy was free, just like that. The guy was free, and he threw it away, and then they did intentional grounding because he didn't get out of the tackle box.
$110 to referee a varsity game in Alabama.
Really?
Well, you think that's good?
Friday night.
You think that's good?
Doing one game a night.
$110.
Top of your other job. I mean, all these other referees are doing other jobs.
It's not worth $110 to take that abuse. For me, one game.
Yeah,
no, I wouldn't referee a game for $110. I wouldn't do it. Personally, I wouldn't do it. I mean, that's a lot of abuse. Now, those guys have a chance to move up to college, and then where they
see, that's the thing, though.
$1,500 a game, and then the NFL $700.
That's the thing that I don't get. So we do all this thing where they do the NFL 60, where they try to play 60 and all that stuff for the kids, and baseball does the little league stuff and all that other stuff. Why don't they do a thing where it's like it trickles down from the pros, where the referees are like training these guys that are coming by and helping high school referees?
I think they have clinics and camps and things like that.
Okay, so like I'd love for like Mark to talk about it, or talk to him about it, because just where it is, I guess, more accessible. Because in a way, guys don't want to do it because obviously the pay's not there. But something's got to change, though, too, when it comes to locally, because you can't expect, like I've heard before, you can't expect booster clubs to pay the salary for a lot of these guys.
Well, I don't know if they're coming from booster clubs, though.
So that's from what I've read and from what I've seen.
Booster clubs are paying officials?
So there's in a way that they're paying.
I mean, they maybe raise money for this. I would think that the home school has to pay the official. I would think that the home school.
If it comes from the home school, like if it's at that stadium or whatever, and they're the home team. I would have to ask no from somebody.
It would be kind of a conflict, I think, if the actual booster club was paying.
But I just think it's kind of silly that like even these guys in itself, they are not getting paid, because like these coaches get paid. These coaches get paid.
Well,
and I get it. They have to teach.
In some cases in the state.
They have to teach.
Some places some places they don't.
Yes,
I mean, a football coach in the Birmingham area
Mobile,
is making $130,000 a year, and they're teaching football. They are not teaching a thing. They're teaching football is what they're teaching.
See that Oxford facility?
No.
It looks like a university facility.
Yeah. Well,
workout room, indoor facility.
And you wonder why downstate, with the money that they spend, I wonder why, we're not as competitive up here in football as they are downstate, because it's just very difficult. All right, when we come back, Bill Krackomberger is his name. Bill Krackomberger. He posted on X, "I'm making a living and betting on sports professionally for 30 years, around the elite and top sports betting syndicates. Not once have I ever been told, quote, bet all you can, this is fixed, end quote. Yet this year I've received this is fixed and this is scripted from more civilians than ever. Amazingly, all the people that have texted me are all on the losing side of the fix." I've got to read some of the responses. I mean, we're going full tinfoil cap when we come back on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
Hey folks, Bobby White back again for Woody Anderson Ford. It's hunting and tailgate season and time to get serious about an F-150. We've got nearly 140 to choose from, and without a doubt, one of the best F-150 values on the road today is our STX package. You get 290 hard-working horses mated to a 10-speed transmission that'll take you everywhere, from that tree stand to downtown Tuscaloosa. Body-colored bumpers, halogen headlamps, 20-inch machined aluminum wheels, and lots of tech, like a rear-view camera with dynamic hitch assist, which you boaters and RVers will love. A 2023 Woody Anderson Ford F-150 STX Packs a punch, but it doesn't cost you a bunch. You can drive one for $474 a month. That's a 36-month lease with $51.66 due at signing, 0 security deposit, just tax tag title, and your good credit. Offer ends October 31st. Call 539-9441 for complete details. Come test drive an F-150 STX today. Woody Anderson Ford, hope to see you soon.
Thom Abraham here for my friends at North Alabama Mortgage. Did you know that average home equity is at an all-time high? But so is average consumer debt. Even though rates are higher now, you can use your equity to pay off your high consumer debt, student loans, etc., then refi when the rates drop. Don't put off that new home purchase. When rates drop, prices will go up. Buy now and get the best price and then refi when the rates drop. This is the time to talk to the experts at North Alabama Mortgage. Visit NorthAlabamaMortgage.com for more information.
Your roof is the first line of defense for your home. Do you have water stains on your ceiling, paint peeling off your walls, shingles missing? It's probably time for you to get your free roof inspection. Locally owned and operated, licensed, and insured, Yellowhammer Roofing is the Yellowhammer State hometown team. Yellowhammer Roofing, let our family protect what's most important to you, your family. 256-232-1933 or online at yellowhammerroofing.com.
Ann Adams with Berkshire Hathaway Rise Real Estate is the one name to know if you're buying or selling real estate. With years of local experience, Ann Adams offers buyers in-depth knowledge of the local housing market and will narrow available properties down to those you'll be interested in so you can save time when shopping for your new home. If you're ready to sell, Ann offers a seamless process using accurate pricing and expert negotiation skills to make sure you get a fair price for your home. Call Ann Adams today at 256-337-2625 or log on bhhsriserealestate.com.
At Mr. Sparky, we're America's on-time electrician. Flickering lights and hot switches can be annoying, but they can also signal a major problem, or worse, an electrical emergency. So play it safe and leave it to the experts at Mr. Sparky. Trust our team of professional, clean, and friendly electricians. We'll get it done right and get it done safely.
You don't have to put up with any malarkey. Call 888-8-SPARKY.
Independently owned and operated, licensed in the respective state or county.
The Lodge at Guntersville State Park. From the gorgeous long views of the lake from the Bluff Side rooms to dinner at the Pinecrest room, Guntersville State Park needs to be on your bucket list this year. What an ideal place for a family staycation or a romantic getaway. Guntersville State Park has it all. This is a great time to book your visit, and depending on the time of year, you might want to bring the clubs and take in a round at Eagle's Nest. Make plans today to visit the Lodge at Guntersville State Park. If it didn't exist, you'd have to invent it. Guntersville State Park.
From the Fox 54 Weather Center, I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman. A mostly sunny sky this afternoon. Temperatures climbing into the mid and upper 60s. Some of us could actually see the lower 70s. Overall, a really fantastic day across the Tennessee Valley. We drop into the mid and upper 40s as we head into the overnight, early into your Wednesday morning. Plenty of sunshine on Wednesday afternoon. Temperatures a little more seasonal for this time of year. Highs climbing into the mid 70s. Dropping into the upper 40s, lower 50s as we head into the overnight, early Thursday morning. I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman on your home for ESPN Radio, 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Hi, this is Eli Gold. 28 Southeastern Conference football championships, 18 national championships. This is Alabama football, and your home for the Crimson Tide Sports Network is 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
The segment of Thom Abraham Show is brought to you by Valley Equipment. With their 2 locations, Valley Equipment can take care of all of your needs, whether you're a homeowner or whether you are a professional business or whether you're a radio station like us and you need certain equipment. Who do you call? You call Valley Equipment. That's right. You call Ross Roberts and you say, look, I need this piece of equipment. Can you help me out? And, of course, they've got it because they got more of everything than anybody, whether it's lifts or whether it's dozers or mini X's or compressors or whatever it is that you need. They've got it at Valley Equipment Rental. Check out their 2 locations, and they'll take care of it. They'll even deliver anywhere around town. And if you got your own trailer and you want to haul your equipment, you can just take it over to Valley Equipment. They'll make sure that the trailer is safe. They'll hook you up, and away you go. Grizz, hit it.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
It's the Tuesday Top 10.
So Bill Krakenberger is a handicapper that has been on Fox Sports Radio. He has been on Countdown to Kickoff show there. He has been seen on the Action Showtime, VSiN, ESPN, and so on. He is at Kraken Wins or at Crack Wins is a site where you can follow him. This is a full-time gambler, and he makes a living on sports betting. He said, not once have I ever been told, bet all you can, the game is fixed, yet this year I received this is fixed and this is script from more people than ever. Amazingly, all the people who have texted me are on the losing side of the fix. So that led to reactions. And these are some of those reactions. From Ambrose the King. Problem with the NFL and sports betting is simple. The public is betting into a system where players are younger, faster, and stronger, and rules are being enforced and applied in the field by referees who are older, slower, and generally can't keep up with the speed of the game in the NFL. That's a legit point. That's what we were talking about. You really need more athletic officials.
Yeah.
That's part of it.
Former players. Why aren't you getting former players? Like
well,
the Players
I don't know
Association.
that they want to do that.
But,
unless they were a middle, not
but
a
how's
guy
it
that
any
made
different
a lot
than
of
guys wanting to be a coach?
money. Because coaches make a hell of a lot more than officials. You know what I mean? A position coach in the NFL makes $1 million.
Yeah. I guess guys don't want to do it either.
Right. I mean, I don't know that they'd want to. And I don't think it has to be a former player, but maybe a former player at lower level, an athlete.
Yeah.
Just be an athlete.
Yeah.
You got to be an athlete to keep up with these guys. Let's take another one. This one from Bill. He says, it can't be totally legit because the NFL is in bed with Vegas and the television networks. There ultimately needs to be a judge that is not paid by either entity, and thus we'll maybe have a legit product. Calls are not on the up and up. The calls are in favor of Vegas's money.
On the Chiefs. Patrick Mahomes.
From Made Men and Associates. Or if you wanted to go into a deeper theory, just say that the fixed side falls under the most popular teams in general. They pick and sell that because it's those fans, degenerates, want to bet anyway. Usually from both sides as well, sometimes, all part of the ride or the gambling high. So in other words, what he's saying is that they always fix it, to
get the gamblers out.
Take out the gamblers that are betting on those things. This guy said, J.D. Sharp said, the amount of phantom penalties being called against the Giants in the Bills game when the Giants leading, controlling the game as a 9-1 underdog should raise huge red flags for everyone. Well, can we have upsets in sports? We can't have an upset in sports? All of a sudden they started calling the flags on the Giants because Steve M. says, is it scripted that Aaron Rodgers has this miraculous surgery and is going to come back down the stretch and eke in as a 7th seed and win the Super Bowl? Dang.
Advances medical science and his high-paid income.
That would be good. That would not be a good
All
thing
of a
if that
sudden
were
he
to
can
happen.
walk and throw a football.
I don't think that would happen as well. This guy says, if you're one of the people who claim that football is fixed, stop betting, stop watching, go hunt for Bigfoot, the Easter Bunny, your parents' attention, or whatever you have, but leave us alone. Bad beats, bad calls, all have been a part of sports betting and sports for years. Chris says, there's been evidence of fixing in sports over time. Not saying it's fixed, not at all, but there are many moving parts involved that would be tough, but Joe Public isn't involved in any collusion, and therefore wouldn't know the correct fixed side to wager. This guy says, I'm not a gambler, but if I were, I would not touch a Chiefs game because the number of calls that go in KC's favor the last few seasons make me question everything. These aren't outliers. There is a pattern.
Patrick Mahomes. That's the pattern.
Cyber Viper says, I keep telling my wife it's fixed every time I lose because my strategy is keep my wife off my ass. Some people call it a conspiracy. I call it not sleeping on a lumpy sofa.
That's good. Just don't tell her that you're betting in general.
Yeah, well, there's that, too. Sports betting is the most frustrating leisure activity I've ever participated in. Although golfers want to argue with that statement, some just want to place blame. They're probably the folks betting more than they can afford as well. So is it just the bettors that think the games are fixed? I don't think that the Philip is necessarily betting on the games. Charlie B says, it's so funny when they say that, like Mahomes falling down at the goal line. It gives the illusion of being fixed because, in general, there's weekly bad and crazy beats in the NFL. That's true. I mean, it was the smart thing to do. When he did that and he ran, he fell down at the goal line. That was the smart thing to do.
What was it? Sean McVay kicked a field goal when he knew he was going to lose, and it was like a
but the
7-point swing.
The points matter when in tie-breaking. Number 7 tiebreaker is points differential. Eddie Bitcoin says it's all rig. Rig, never bet on it. There you go. I don't think it's rigged. I think officials struggle to make the call, the right call. We need full-timers. All right, that's going to do it for us. Paul Feinbaum Show is coming up next. After that, Taco Tuesday down at the Furniture Factory with Wes and Steve. All right here on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.